Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and I have the incredible pleasure of speaking with Micky Blue here on the channel. Thank you for taking the time, Micky. This is going to be a really cool conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So, for the people that aren't familiar with you and your channel and what you do and your music and everything, can you give a little backstory on who you are?
Yes, I would be delighted. So I am an American artist, singer-songwriter, born in London, raised in New Jersey, lived in New York for 10 years, and now I'm currently back in London living there. And I write pop and electronic dance music. I write K-pop. I write for my project, for other people's projects. So just kind of doing the grind like everyone in this industry.
Oh, I hear that. I love it. Very cool. So you mentioned a lot of things. Actually, I have a couple talking points and questions for you. Actually, I was doing a little research. So the way I actually found you is I was actually stumbled across Splice's Instagram, which I personally use Splice for my sampling. It's where I get all my samples from when I make my own music, and you were featured on their channel. And they did this whole I guess interview style thing with you, and they were asking you questions and stuff. So first of all, that's a pretty cool thing to be a part of. And second of all, actually, when I was doing a little more research, kind of piggybacking off of that, I want to make a comment on this. There's your name and Kashmir's name is tied together. Wasn't entirely sure how. I didn't get that far into looking, but that I use so many of the Kashmir samples, which is a pretty cool name to be attached to.
He's pretty amazing. So, yeah, I mean, we did a song together called Back to Me a few years ago that it did really well, and he played it at Tomorrowland and Ultra. So that was pretty amazing. And then, yeah, I ended up also doing a Splice pack. As you know, Kashmir is the king of Splice. we
He's
all
crushing it.
we all use his samples, and he's amazing, and he's just such a talented guy. His story is interesting. I know he ghost produced for other DJs for years, and then finally released his own project, and everyone was like, whoa.
Oh, really? So that song you mentioned that being played at Tomorrowland, and you said, was it Ultra? You said.
Ultra and Tomorrowland,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
cool. That was the one with Kashmir, or the one with Tiesto?
I've also had singles with Tiesto as
Okay,
well.
so
Yeah,
both of them were
it's
played there.
festivals. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, because that was part of the other things I found, that you had a song with Tiesto, two songs I think with Tiesto, right?
Yeah, too,
Um,
yeah.
and both of those were played at some pretty sweet festivals.
Yeah.
How do
No,
those connections even come up? Whether it be Splice, whether it be Tiesto, whether it be Kashmir, how do you meet these people and start working with them?
um, I mean, wow, that's just like the way of the music industry.
Of
It's
course,
always like
absolutely.
it's like random sometimes. I would say with Kashmir, it was through my buddy Jorn Vandervoort. He's like one of my closest friends in the world, and we write together a ton. And he's actually who I did my Splice sample pack with. If you look, his name is credited on the pack as well. And yeah, Jordan's just amazing, and he's one of the best vocal producers and writers that I know. He's just incredible, and he's from the Netherlands, so he's had a lot of success. I would say he's definitely one of the biggest writers over there, and in EDM music in
Mm.
general.
That
So
whole area is like super well known for the EDM producing and writing
yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, they just are killing it over
yeah,
there.
for sure.
Such a talented group of people. But yeah, so Joran, I think with Back to Me, we actually it's that song is really funny. We wrote that to just like a little hook, just like a little production idea, and we didn't really know, where we wanted it to go production wise because we don't produce EDM tracks ourselves typically. I mean, Jordan's definitely does some production sometimes, but we're artists and songwriters.
Mm.
So we wrote the hook first, and at the time I was like really into Alice in Wonderland and like the old version of it, and just kind of reading all these fantasies. It's funny, people look at me and they don't think like, oh, this girl's into like gaming and fantasy and all of that, but I totally love that shit. Ooh, and there's on
Just be
here. Is
yourself.
that
Be yourself. Just be yourself.
okay? Okay.
The last thing I want is for people to come on the channel and be like, have to like be this like fake version of this. Just be you. So.
Okay, cool. I'm like, because I'm from Jersey, I have a potty mouth.
Yeah. Well, so that actually leads me to the second cool comment that I have is like I was reading your bio and you had mentioned in it that you played Rockwood Music Hall, you played Bowery Electric, which I've been to both of them. I played at Bowery before, the Bowery Electric before. I've never played at Rockwood, but I've been there and I used the bathroom there once. I was just walking through.
You like saw their bathroom? It was interesting.
It was. I think it was one with the red light in it. It had a red light. Yeah. Right. Is that the one? I was the first time I think I actually took a photo of it and posted on my Instagram. I think if you scroll back, this was a while ago. If you scroll back on my Instagram, I think you can see the red light. I was like, this is so wild. Like just like everything's red in this bathroom. It's so weird.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Rockwood's a great venue though. I mean, the sound is always really pretty decent there. It's really nice. Unlike some other New York venues where
of course.
The equipment is just beat to shit, honestly, and the owners don't care, which sucks because I think people would go see more live music if the sound quality was good. Because there's a million amazing musicians and bands in New York. New York has the greatest musicians in the world of any place. And
New York has the greatest of everything in the world.
It does. It does. And I can say that. I know I'm living in London and I love London and it's amazing. But I've been lucky enough that my music has taken me literally all over the world. And New York, I'm sorry, but New York still has the best musicians, hands down, like no contest.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. No, just kidding.
No, but it's true. And I'm like, why don't these venues have better speakers and stuff?
Yeah, it's insane.
People would just be happier to go because they would appreciate the music more.